the radar. Welcome, Don. Move on to item 9 on our agenda, which is a presentation on Delta Conservancy Prop 1 grant awards. Eric, you wanted to introduce this item?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And I'll draw the Commission members' attention to a staff report from the Delta Conservancy that we put in front of all of you. And there are some copies that might still be on the table for the other people attending the meeting here. Just quickly, as a reminder, the Delta Conservancy received $50 million in Proposition 1 for grant making in the Delta, within their jurisdiction, for projects to improve water quality. And Proposition 1 called for the Conservancy to consult with the Delta Protection Commission on the process they would go through, to also consult with local governments. In terms of the consultation with the Delta Protection Commission, what we talked about and agreed to was that, number one, the pre-proposals that the Delta Conservancy received would be provided to the Commission. They were provided to Commission staff. And we had an opportunity to look at those pre-proposals and to help vet any potential local agency or landowner concerns. Secondly, the Commission was invited to participate in evaluating the full proposals, and we did participate in the form of your executive director. I looked at a very large stack of paper and reviewed specific aspects of the 13 full proposals that the Delta Conservancy received for funding. And then finally, the consultation involved an opportunity for the Commission to hear about the proposed grant awards under this program. You might be aware that we meet 6 days before the Delta Conservancy. The Delta Conservancy posts its meeting materials a week before their meeting. So what you have in front of you is hot off the presses today. It's the staff report that the Conservancy will present to its board next Wednesday morning. And it includes, on the last couple of pages, the projects that the scoring process is now that the Conservancy is recommending for both funding and denial based on the scoring process that the Conservancy engaged in. And not only the Commission, but also the professional review panel included the Department of Fish and Wildlife, the Department of Water Resources, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or what we call NOAA. So that was the professional review. When all was tallied, it resulted in these two tables. Again, projects that are being recommended for approval at next Wednesday's Delta Conservancy meeting, and projects that are not being recommended for approval. I don't know if we have, it doesn't look like we have anyone here from the Conservancy. They're quite busy preparing for their meeting next week. I will say that there is some overlap in our Commission membership with the Conservancy Board. Commission members Natoli and Ferrara also sit as board members on the Delta Conservancy. The Commission has a seat as a liaison advisor on the Delta Conservancy. That's a non-voting seat, but it does allow us to fully participate in their meetings. And tonight's purpose really was just to continue the official consultation with the Commission, for the Commission in the Conservancy's grant award process. If there are any concerns, I realize I'm not going into great depth about the projects. This might be the first you've seen of them. If you have interest in those that are either being recommended for funding or those that are not being recommended for funding, I would encourage you to reach out to me. I can provide more information on them. I think there is more detailed information that the Delta Conservancy is making available to its board members. I can certainly share that. I can also convey any issues or concerns at the Conservancy meeting next week. Alternatively, those members of the commission that sit on that board can convey those thoughts or concerns. And even though we don't have direct overlap, our county members of the Delta Protection Commission also sit as board members on the Delta Conservancy. Usually it's in the form of a different County Board of Supervisor member. Supervisor and Vice Chair of our commission, Skip Thompson, also sits on the Delta Conservancy. He's not attending tonight's meeting, but he does plan to attend next Wednesday's meeting. So again, and I apologize for keep looking toward the door. I want to make sure I don't miss an opportunity to introduce Conservancy staff if they're present. Again, this is not brought to the commission for any vote. It's really just a briefing. If there is concern about any of the projects, I'd encourage you to dig deeper into them. There will be an opportunity next Wednesday morning to express any concerns or have questions answered about any of these projects. And if you communicate any of that to me, I'd be happy to relay that forward at next Wednesday morning's meeting. So, Madam Chair, that's what I wanted to report on this, and would be happy to answer any questions to the best of my ability.
Thank you, Eric. And the column that says staff recommendation, approve or deny, does not indicate why those projects were approved or denied, which in large part is okay, except the project that is the beneficial reuse of harvested invasive aquatic plant species biofuel demonstration project, considering the report we just saw, might want to interest us on requesting maybe another look at that by the Conservancy. I'm not sure what their grounds for denial were, but
yeah, I can say
why was the score low? Why was it denied? But maybe if there's a chance for us to highlight the urgency and importance of that, it might be helpful.
Understood completely, Madam Chair, and agreed. In answer to your first question, what's the dividing line between approval and denial? It's 85 points. And so that was written into the Conservancy's guidelines, that they would only fund projects that scored 85 points or higher. And even then, if there were more projects than available funding, that doesn't mean that you automatically would get funded, but it was a prerequisite. So the Conservancy did have, I believe, approximately $9 million available to fund projects in this round. The total recommended for funding is just a little shy of $6.3 million. So clearly there's some additional bandwidth there, but those projects that had an aggregate score below 85 fall into the deny category.
Right, and maybe the project proponent, which in this case is the Port of Stockton, maybe they could revisit their proposal. I don't know. I'm just suggesting that that be given another look either in the process or by the Conservancy members, but I just wanted to highlight it as an interest that this commission may want to ask the Conservancy to look at a little deeper if possible. That would be my thought, Mr. Chair, or Mr. Director, Mr. Bank. Any other commission thoughts or comments? Commissioner Wynn.
I had the same concern. I would say I know that the problem with the invasive species is that when it grows and when the ships come into harbor, the radar picks them up as ships. And so what happens is they stop and they have to wait until the next day until they can actually see. Yeah. And by stopping that continuation to the port, it literally costs tens of thousands of dollars annually. And so I think that's one of the concerns. And I understand, the scoring system, et cetera, and it may have been the size of the project or whatever, but I would be curious to find out what was, I guess, maybe the concern of the Conservancy and see if they could rectify that. Because even we have Boggs Track, which is adjacent to the port, And it's a small co-op farm. They're actually doing the reuse and harvesting those types of things. Very small, but I think anytime we can experiment, so to speak, to find a better way, it's certainly advantageous to the entire Delta.
Maybe we could get Director Lynn Sadler involved with the application too. Did you have something to say, Don?
No, I
Okay.
concur with you.
You concur. Thank you.
Look at this. I think it'd be a good idea to learn more about it.
Okay. Any other commission thoughts? Any public comment on this item? Bill, can you find a microphone, Bill? We want to make sure we get you. Thank you.
They accuse me.
Good evening.
On?
It's on.
Okay, they accuse me of talking too loud sometimes, but Madam Chair, I'd like to echo what you said. If the invasive plants in the Delta are not brought under control, there will be no more Delta in 10 years. I was involved in this particular project. We wrote a letter of support, and I know many Delta businesses, in fact, they gave the maximum number of letters of support that they could. These are small business people that are being devastated by water hyacinth and other plants. So I would, whatever we can possibly do to move this along, and $300,000 is a drop in the bucket. I think they should have used the whole $9 million to fight invasive plants. I mean, the levies aren't going to matter if there's no Delta. So anyway, Madam Chair, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Any other comments? Okay, we'll bring it back to the commission. Are we okay with the oh, did I miss one? Oh, Marion.
Microphone. Thank you.
Since our offices are both here, Assemblyman Cooper's office and Senator Galgiani's office, since she is the Ag Chair, will help beef up that application. I'll contact Jeff tomorrow.
That would be great.
And we'll assist them in that.
Okay. Okay.
There's so many of them.
Okay, thank you. Eric, any questions or comments? Enough direction. Okay.